We've all heard that Disney's been making live action remakes of their classics for years now. The first was Cinderella in 2014. Today I'm going to compare three originals to their live action counterparts and see if they're actually worth watching. First up is when I was younger, I loved the 2019 remake of Aladdin. It was my go-to movie when on those planes with TVs, like those planes that had TVs built into them. Anyway, it's really cool. I also recently watched the original Aladdin and the remake back to back several times, so I think I know what I'm talking about. The original had great animation. It was fluid and natural. It had a lot of beautiful scenes. For example, the cave scene. The genies dancing in that scene was just beautiful. Just beautiful. And I could actually see the hard work the animators put in. The animation just shines through in that scene. But now, sadly, onto the bad things of the movie. The genie. The genie was very, very unlikable in the original. And, well, yeah, the remake did it way, way better. The genie actually felt like Aladdin's friend. The original genie was just too quirky, if you know what I mean. I think you do. I think you do. But you're way too quirky. There was one bad thing about the animation, one bad thing, and it was the Cave of Wonders. How the Cave of Wonders was talking.
Disturbs my slumber.
Thief.
Know this. Only one made it to here. One whose worth lies far within. The diamond in the rough.
Like the mouth, how the mouth was moving. It felt really, really unnatural. You'll know what I'm talking about if you watch the original, but yeah, that was not that great. Now, the remake story was a lot different from the 1994 version. The way Aladdin and Jafar met wasn't in a prison cell where they were conveniently both locked up in. It was in the palace of the Sultan because Aladdin had broken into that place and, well, yeah, Also, to make me a prince scene was 100 times better into 2019 version. It was a lot longer and did also explain the gray area between wishes, which conveniently comes into play at the end. The drowning scene was more heartfelt into remake. Genie tried to save Aladdin a long time from drowning without making him make a wish. Not just, yeah, I guess I'll count it as a wish, and just saving him. At least the remake Genie made Aladdin sign like a document. Yeah, something like that. Anyway, the original Genie didn't feel like Aladdin's friend. Now, the ending was a lot different as well. In the originals, Jafar turned into a snake. Into remake, the 2019 remake, that didn't happen. No, 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 that didn't happen. There was a chase scene with Ayago, to parrot, the red parrot, and the magic carpet. There was Aladdin on the magic carpet and also Jasmine. They had the magic lamp, and Ayago had to get it. It just was a million times better, is what I'm trying to say. Just way better, honestly. Now, in the original, where when Genie was, released, he stayed a genie, but just without handcuffs. But in the remake, he turned into a human being, which I kind of like more, to be totally honest. The old version was also missing some characters, but that's actually not important at all. It's just some characters were just missing. In conclusion, I think the 2019 version is a lot better, and the songs hit harder as well. If you only want to watch one, watch the newer one, definitely. But the original has two sequels, so I think you should watch both, so you can experience the sequels if you want to. I didn't. I don't feel left out. But yeah, I just like the remake a lot more than the original. The original just left me cold, to be honest. So 1 point to the remakes. And the next up is
Before I start with Beauty and the Beast, you can see my hair is shorter. That is because I was bald and I have taken a long break and now my hair is kind of growing back. But yeah, Beauty and the Beast now, I guess.
I have watched the original and remake 2 times now, but when I was younger, I hadn't watched either. I had watched the 2014 French version, which I remember was pretty good. So you can go watch that, but I'm not talking about that. So let us talk about the real deal. Beauty and the Beast is honestly a really great movie. Both versions are immaculate and perfect. Better than Aladdin. The story doesn't differ that much between the original and the remake, like it did in the previous movie, Aladdin, that is. Just that her father didn't look like a dimwit in the remake. Belle's father, Maurice, is an inventor and went to fair to sell his products or something. And he was just a stereotypical crazy inventor. Doc Brown-esque, I'd say even. In the remake, he was a clock and watchmaker who just went to sell his clocks at the market, which he has been doing for some time. And every time he brings Belle a rose, which isn't in the 1991 version, and is a nice touch. They changed another character as well. Lumiere looks um off-putting in the remake. Let's just say, uh, is it just me or does he look way too human? And Golden looks like a very broken man from Japan with candles on his hands and head. LaFoe was also better in the remake. Like Maurice, LaFoe at least had a brain in the remake, which comes out in the beginning. I'm not going to say why. Just watch the movie. Trust me. Just trust me. It's quite good. It's quite good. Now let's compare scenes. In the beginning of the 2017 version, Belle was teaching another girl to read. You guessed it, not in the original. As I said, in the remake, Maurice wanted to take a rose or Belle from the beast's garden, and the beast locked him in his castle because of his own experience with strangers and roses. In the 1991 version, Maurice just wanted to get shelter from the storm. The furniture scared him in the remake, but in the original he was just interested in them. I don't know why he wasn't frightened, but different people act differently. In the remake, Belle and the Beast went to her mother's deathbed, I think. At least it was the place where Belle's mom died. That's because The 2017 version is half an hour longer, so that's why. But it's still a nice touch. In the proposal scene, there wasn't a wedding in the remake, and Belle sang a song about Gaston right in front of him. Unlike in the remake, Gaston went with Maurice to the
And he's on
forest
my
to find
way.
Beast's
Once the
castle
wolves have finished with him, Belle will
and
have no one
left
to take
him
care of her
there
but
to
me.
die. Which I gotta say is a dick move. I know. Now, speed round. In the original, Gaston made a plan to come to her house and then collect her dad to the asylum. Not that asylum, but it was an asylum. In the remake, Belle arrived when her father was about to get shipped away, and there was no deal with the asylum manager or owner or director or principal or whatever they have, at least to my knowledge. Belle's room was given to her by the Beast in the original and by the furniture in the remake. The Beast asked Belle to dinner in the original, and in the remake it was the furniture. The remake had the witch at the end, but the original didn't. Between the two versions, the spectacle in the background of songs is also different, but only slightly, like just slightly. And the remake has more songs, and so did Aladdin. In the original, it was winter, but in 2017 version, it was June. But which one do I think is better? I believe both are really great, but the remake wins by a slither, a tiny, insignificant slither. The original 1991 version is really, and I mean really, awesome, but I just like the remake more. If you want to pick one, pick the older version. Saves more time and it's only a tad bit worse. But enough of Beauty and the Beast, because the next one is. When I was just a tiny itty bitty lad, I watched the original Lion King all the time. I even had the DVD. When the remake came out, I went to see it in the cinema and quite liked it. But what do I think now? Not in the past, now, as in currently. The thing is, there was no difference between the original and the remake. I know, shocking. There were some minor differences here and there. The spectacle was different between the two movies, and the dialogue was also changed a bit. Nothing too extreme, all very minor. The only real difference was the chase scene between the hyenas and the little cubs. The chase was mostly in the tunnels in the remake, when the hyenas chased Simba out of the Pride Lands, when there was a flashback with Pumbaa. In the remake, Pumbaa was a little warthog in the flashback, but not in the original. When Simba, Timon, and Pumbaa were eating bugs, there were only these three in the original. In the remake, there were way more animals. In the remake, there were no expressions on the animals' faces, and they didn't really use their front paws as hands. There were just no differences between the characters in the original versus remake. Simba acted the same, so did Pumbaa and Timon and everyone else. Which one is better? Obviously, the original. Nothing changed except for the expressions, which were non existent in the remake. That was a bad thing, but that gave more to the realism. But I like the original more, that's just the way it is. That's it for this video. If this does well, I might do another video or two on the topic. There's lots more Disney movies with live action remakes, and I fortunately have Disney Plus, so I can easily watch those. Here's the final score, but that's that, and keeping a W.